From the very first moment the cameras start rolling, there's an undeniable electricity between Mila Kunis and Cailee Spaeny. Two actresses from different generations, both now stepping into the wildly unpredictable world of Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. The film, created by the endlessly imaginative Rian Johnson, hits theaters on November 26th before heading to Netflix on December 12th, and the hype around it has already reached a fever pitch. But what makes this chapter of the franchise so fascinating isn't just the mystery, the twists, or the impossible crime at its center. It's the stories behind the scenes. And today, those stories come spilling out one by one in the most surprising, hilarious, and unexpectedly emotional ways. The moment my channel sat down with Mila Kunis and Cailee Spaeny, Mila didn't waste a second in revealing the truth. She wanted to be part of this movie before she ever even saw a script. In classic Mila fashion, she laughs as she explains how the opportunity came to her. She remembers getting a call, hearing the pitch, and immediately saying she was in. No hesitation, no second guessing, just pure instinct. And honestly, who can blame her? The world of Knives Out has become so iconic that it feels like an exclusive club, one that every major star secretly hopes to be invited into. Mila goes back in time as she remembers meeting Rian Johnson when she was just 17. She jokes that it was practically 100 years ago, but even then, something about his creativity stuck with her. They had talked over the years, or at least they think they did, because as Mila admits, she's not entirely sure whether those conversations ever became official. What she does remember, though, is that every project Rian touches is different, unpredictable, and never created just for the sake of success. So when the chance arose to finally join one of his films, Mila didn't care what the story was. She didn't care who she'd be playing, she didn't care about technicalities, she was ready to manifest it. Even if her agent warned her she technically didn't have an offer yet. Sitting beside her, Cailee Spaeny can't help but laugh because she felt the exact same way. For Cailee, joining a Knives Out movie meant stepping into what she calls the coolest club in this industry. She explains that these movies all share the same DNA. The wit, the elegance, the mischief, but every one of them feels like it could stand entirely on its own, and that's what hooked her. Rian Johnson, she says, never repeats himself. He doesn't churn these films out for easy views or studio pressure. Each installment is a new challenge, a new emotional core, a new idea he's been waiting to explore. And this time, in Wake Up Dead Man, he's going darker, deeper, and far more personal. Cailee reveals something many fans don't yet know, that the heart of this movie is inspired by Rian's own relationship with religion. It shapes the tone, the atmosphere, even the emotional stakes of the impossible crime at the center of the story. And yet, even with the darker energy, the film remains wildly funny. Cailee recalls attending screenings where even the most serious press members were laughing out loud, unable to hide their reactions. For a mystery movie, that's rare. For a Rian Johnson movie, that's expected. But of course, a Knives Out movie wouldn't be complete without an all-star cast. When Mila and Cailee found out who they'd be sharing the set with, their brains practically exploded, especially when they learned that Glenn Close was joining the ensemble. Mila's eyes light up as she describes Glenn, not as an intimidating Hollywood legend, but as one of the warmest, most open human beings she's ever met. Mila and Glenn actually worked together 3 years earlier, and during that time, Glenn became practically family. They lived across the street from each other in London, shared countless afternoons together, went on walks, and even traded off dog-sitting duties. Mila smiles as she remembers Glenn popping over to hang out with her family. To Mila, Glenn Close is not a distant powerhouse. She's Glennie, the woman she deeply loves and admires. Cailee's bond with Glenn is charmingly unexpected. She reveals that Glenn took her to Wimbledon, just the two of them, having a girls' day while Mila and her family watched Glenn's dog. Cailee still can't fully believe it. Sitting in those iconic stands beside one of the greatest actresses of all time, Glenn Close at Wimbledon. It sounds like a fever dream, but that's who Glenn is. Generous, fun, and completely unpretentious. Then comes the moment that turns the interview upside down, the topic of reality TV. The second I bring up the secret lives of Mormon wives, Mila absolutely lights up. It turns out she's obsessed with the show. She explains it with the enthusiasm of someone who has watched every chaotic twist, every scandal, every mom talk meltdown. Meanwhile, Cailee looks confused, admitting she's never watched a reality show in her life. Mila cracks up, insisting Cailee needs to get with the program, though moments later she jokingly walks that back, saying if Cailee wants to live a peaceful life, Maybe reality TV is not the answer. When I ask Mila if she's excited about Taylor Frankie Paul becoming the new Bachelorette, she doesn't even let me finish before reacting. She confesses she's avoiding spoilers because the internet ruins everything. The filming updates, the leaks, the teasers, she's dodging them all because she wants to experience the season fresh. This casting choice, she says, is brilliant. She stopped watching The Bachelorette for a while but is fully ready to return because of Taylor. The excitement is real and she promises Cailee will be hooked once she gives the franchise a chance. Then Mila reveals something surprising. She hasn't watched season 3 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives yet, but she hints that a familiar face might appear this season, someone from a past interview, making the show even more irresistible. Cailee just laughs, still confused but slowly being pulled into the cult-like gravitational force of reality TV fandom. Next, we shift to Alien Romulus, the massive sci-fi hit where Cailee delivered a breakout performance as Rain. Fans already know the sequel is in development, so naturally I ask what she hopes for her characters and whether she wants to finally share the screen with the legendary Sigourney Weaver. Without hesitation, Cailee says she has been pitching it non-stop. She spent the entire press tour trying to make sure Sigourney knew she was ready, willing, and excited. Cailee laughs, admitting she knows nothing about the sequel yet, but she can't wait to return to director David Johnson, who blew audiences away with his bold vision. It would be a dream, she says, to have Rain and Sigourney's iconic character appear together. A real bucket list moment. But then, in the most Knives Out fashion imaginable, we drift into a playful murder mystery scenario. If the cast were all at one of those classic murder mystery dinner parties, who would have the best poker face? Who could get away with the crime? Mila and Cailee immediately start eliminating suspects. According to them, Glenn Close would be the first one dead. And Daniel Craig? Also dead. Andrew Scott would probably fall asleep. Josh O'Connor? Too sweet. Definitely dead. They tease each other, with Mila telling Cailee that she too would definitely be dead in this game. The only person they think might stand a chance? Carrie, the one with the best poker face, the one who could be the secret traitor in any scenario. The conversation dissolves into laughter as Mila imagines herself playing the traitors, insisting she would be terrible at it, while Cailee proudly admits she's at least watched that reality show. Again, the two actresses show their opposite personalities. Mila, the die-hard reality TV fan, and Cailee, the newcomer slowly being drafted into the chaotic world of unscripted drama. As the interview wraps, the atmosphere shifts from playful to once again mysterious. The film's premise, an impossible crime where a man walks into a sealed concrete box and ends up dead just 30 seconds later, lingers in the air. It's the type of puzzle only Benoit Blanc, played by Daniel Craig, can unravel. The kind of story that can only exist in the strange, brilliant universe Rian Johnson has built. The final moments feel surreal and chaotic, as if the interview itself has transformed into its own mini-mystery. Mila jokes that the whole situation is freaking her out. Cailee laughs. And as they sit there, two actresses at wildly different points in their careers but equally captivated by the madness of the movie they're part of, it becomes clear why the Knives Out franchise has become one of Hollywood's most beloved storytelling universes. It's emotional, it's funny, it's unpredictable, and above all, it brings people together, whether it's inside a sealed concrete box or at Wimbledon with Glenn Close.